So, good evening, sir. How has the second edition of Envision been for you so far?
Envision, as I had said a while back, is the second edition of Envision 2023, which the last one was Envision 2021 two. It has been a wonderful revamp, a new Envision thought processes. We carried from where we had left in 2022, and 23 we would set up some new missions to pursue and to gain. So it's a good opportunity for people to network together, give new thoughts, and more opportunities for the association to do better for the packaging fraternity.
So, talking about the packaging fraternity, how do you think the industry has been shaping up?
To be very honest, I've been always saying people have downsized or underestimated the strength of a packaging industry. Packaging industry, and I have been sharing in various forums, is not less than number two in all your industries. After IT, it has to be packaging. The only difference has been it's an unorganized sector, so people do not quantify or understand the quantity, the size of the industry. I have been sharing that we do not have our own HSN codes. So when you don't have your own HSN code, you do not know the quantum of the industry that is. You might have seen in the pandemic, everybody started learning that my goods have to be properly packed. So what does that show? Anything that is produced in this world has to be packed properly if it has to reach properly to a customer. And that is the importance of a packaging industry. And I would like to say always, mother of all industry is packaging. It's an IT, it's a cosmetic, you do whatever you want. You have to have them packed properly so that the customers or the consumers could enjoy it to their best.
Wonderfully said, sir. It is the mother of all industries. So, what is happening in packaging machinery side in terms of automation?
I would say this is a constant changing new developments, and today it's a time of AI. People would be thinking that IoT and AI is happening only in the IT. Sorry, people have understood it less. Just imagine IoT is how important. Today, you can track, you can trace your product right up to the end a customer receives. So, technology is in use. It is up to you to use the technology to the benefit of your industry. More you use, more you would be able to give a right product to your customer. So technological is not, for example, you also know automation is going way beyond. So does it harm? No, it enhances. Your productivity goes up, your product accuracy would go up. So various other factors that could be covered. So technology is doing wonderful in the packaging industry. It depends upon us. How many of us would like to adapt it? And I'm sure those who adapt would go a long way as competing globally as Indian industry is growing very strong.
So, how does sustainability and technology go hand in hand?
They are quite hand in hand, various aspects. Sustainability, today you have quite a bit of sustainability topics going on, but how many people have started incorporating? There was a big challenge raised, and there was a big motivation happening by the government of India earlier that recyclable plastic should be come in the picture. Suddenly, it's got a back burner after the pandemic, but that's the way to go. There is nothing. I would say plastic will not die because you come with an options of recyclability. It will going to last. People are doing a shortcuts of going to paper. That's not an answer. Paper harms global warming. Again, you're killing trees. Trees don't grow in days, it takes years. So, what's the best solution? Look at the sustainable, recyclable option. And if you do that, enjoy it. And nevertheless, government is doing wonderful for collection. But with recycle and collection, is there any problem? I don't foresee anything.
Yeah, I think that is the way forward for the materials. So, last question, what is your message to the industry?
Industry, on a packaging industry, I would say packaging industry is ever growing. It will grow leaps and bounds. I don't know, you were there in the morning session. There was R.K. Mishra, the director at IPO, had also indicated India uses only 10 kg of packaging material. Globally, it is around 70 to 80 kg. Now you can see the growth potential of the packaging industry. Sky's the limit. Just get a good quality machine. Just give a good product. I think so. You cannot stop growing. And remember, as an association, we are working hard towards upliftment of the industry, micro industry to be uplifted. If we are able to do that by getting right channel partners, by giving them good benefits from the governments, by giving them good banking facilities, what would happen? We have the micro industry growing, we have the packaging industry growing. What does that mean? I fulfill the dreams of our Prime Minister, Atmanirbhar Bharat, more exports.
That's true, sir. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful message. How has the Envision 2023 been for you so far?
Fantastic. I believe we have the cream of packaging machinery manufacturers here at Envision 2023. And I believe that this would be a fantastic podium for us to network with each other, know each other, and also have one single voice of packaging in terms of what our requirements are to put forward with various government officials, in terms of academics, in terms of training, etc., etc. So it has been a fantastic thing, and I'm looking forward for a wonderful two-day meet here at Amby Valley.
That's wonderful, sir. How do you think IPMMI is helping the packaging industry?
IPMMI is getting into technical trainings. We are proposing a specific course for training operators. We are trying up with IIP on this particular issue. We are also trying to be the voice of packaging industry as far as the government is concerned. So there is a huge amount of work that we do with, we interact with PhD CCI, which is the umbrella who has a mandate for development of packaging and printing industry in India. So we work alongside with him in terms of making them understand as to what our requirements are, etc., etc. We also have the PACMAC show, an exhibition, which this time would be from October 4th to October 6th at Pragati Maidan, Delhi, and wherein we would also have a buyer-seller meet. We are trying to have certain international conferences, symposium, etc. So it would be a fantastic platform for the packaging industry.
So, talking about the packaging machinery industry, how do you think automation has been shaping up in industry?
People have now, as the economy grows, people actually want more and more of automation. People want less and less of human interference, especially in areas of food, in pharma, where automation would help to have high standards of GMP, high standards of cleanliness factor, etc., etc. So this is helping the packaging machineries to automate a lot of plants, the user industry here in India. And there is a long way to go. We are still at a very, very nascent stage. But then this opportunity that we as packaging machinery manufacturers is immense. So we are exactly working for the same.
How does sustainability and automation go hand in hand?
Sustainability has been a very big jargon these days, and that's the buzzword for everywhere. And we are all working towards the material manufacturers as equipment manufacturers, as machinery manufacturers. It is our job to work with the material manufacturers and get into an understanding as far as to what we really need to take care when we design the machines, which will be able to use sustainable material in the long run. So it's just not a one-day story, but then this will enable to go a long, long way on sustainability. We have been conducting a lot of road shows in major cities, and we've been talking about this sustainability on various platforms. We've been having panel discussions on this. So there is a huge amount of work that is being done on the sustainability by the machinery manufacturers, and a lot would depend more on the machinery manufacturers in terms of adapting ourselves to the new world. That's exactly what it is.
So last question, what is your message to the packaging industry?
Well, we have to be very innovative. We need to be focused. We need to really look forward in terms of innovative designs. Profitable growth is one area where we really need to focus. And also sustainability is going to be the future in terms for the packaging industry, especially for the machinery manufacturers.
First of all, how has the Envision 2023 been for you so far?
I think Envision is a very nice platform to meet and interact with your industry friends, and I really appreciate IPMMI for doing this.
So talking about the IPMMI, so how do you think the packaging industry has been shaping up so far?
See, packaging industry is poised to grow. I think the growth is there now. So IPMMI is doing very right activities right now, networking with the people, networking with the industry association and the governments also. So that is the right approach, taking it further. And I feel there is a huge potential there and the future is very bright.
So I heard you mentioned a very interesting thing that PhD stands for Progress, Harmony and Development. So can you elaborate on that?
See, whatever in our life also, as I mentioned during the speech also, in our personal life or professional life, progress, then harmony and then development. This is how we can grow further. So this is what we should also inculcate in ourselves also, so that the business can grow further, and that is how it is our motto. As I also mentioned, we are the voice of the industry and trade. So progress, harmony, development comes along with that.
So how does PHDCCI is helping the packaging machinery industry and the packaging industry in overall?
See, PhD Chamber of Commerce is actually taking care of all the sectors. So as I mentioned in PhD Chamber, we have started the packaging committee now. So we are working very closely with the parent ministry, which is the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. And we have been given the mandate from the Ministry of Commerce to participate in international events in the printing and packaging sector. So along with the Indian Institute of Packaging and IPMMI, we'll be taking the industry members further and giving them exposure to the global market and also bringing in the buyers from different countries under the scheme which are there from the Commerce Ministry and MSME Ministry, so that the Indian industry can benefit it out of it. And PhD stands, we promise that we will be working very closely with IPMMI.
So how do you think sustainability is going to help this industry, and how industry has been adopting various norms like EPR and single-use plastic bans?
See, sustainability has to be there, and that is the need of the hour. So we have to do the compliances together, and I think industry is already taking steps toward that, and the chambers are also, and industry association are also creating effective awareness about this part. And industry is also coming upfront in that, and that is how we have to take it further. That is how we have to support our environment and climate also, because we have to live in this earth, Mother Earth. So we have to have all those compliances, and sustainability is something which we all need to come forward with.
So finally, a last question, what is your message to the packaging industry?
So packaging is something which is, as today also one of the speakers mentioned, packaging in our life. So in everything, whatever we do or use, packaging is there. So packaging industry has a huge growth potential, and we all have to work together towards that. And I think the packaging fraternity which is here today is promising that way also, and there is a huge potential and growth. I look forward to it. Thank you.
How was your experience at Envision 2023?
I think we've come a long way, as in association of 250 members over a period of last 2 decades, uh, creating a common vision and the mission for collective growth, something which we were thinking for last over 5 years or so, has come to this reality today. We are able to sit together, do a brainstorming, uh, and we wish to take it forward from here.
I'd like to ask, how has your experience been with IPMMI?
Uh, I think it was extremely essential that an important body like packaging machinery manufacturers come together, uh, primarily because the amount of value addition which we do in terms of packing practically everything what human consume uh, needs to be told. We need to work closely with government. We need to work closely with academic world. Uh, Being a past president, it also becomes more important for me to shoulder responsibility to see that there is a collective growth for the entire fraternity.
In addition, I would like to ask, with sustainability being a buzzword, again, talking about EPR guidelines, so, and also addition of IoT, automation, how has these factors scaled our industry?
So I think every next generation is a little smarter than the previous generation. Same applies for Internet of Things or Industry 4.0 or digitalization. It's only a process. If we see the last 5-6 decades of evolution of packaging machinery or packaging material, things have only evolved. Individually, I don't think plastic is a bad material. I completely believe, and we as an association would like to work to see that the human behavior towards how packaging material like plastic is used and post-consumer usage, how it is disposed properly and a responsible way, is going forward. Sustainability, not only in the context of plastic, I think it needs to be seen in a larger context with respect to how distribution, manufacturing, uh, destruction or salvaging is done. At the same time, as a circular economy, how do we take forward uh, the entire aspect of packaging, packaging machines, and the consumer experience. So it should not be seen only from a window of a plastic material, but it's a long way to go. Needless to say, the policy makers create precedents, and then the industry follows. And I see we catching up, and we will be able to create a sustainable world with the help of stakeholders like government, academic world, as well as the civil society.
Indeed, it's a long way to go. Lastly, what is your message to the industry?
The message has to be very simple. If in the context of post-corona we are viewing Indian economy as well as the Indian industry of packaging machinery manufacturers, I personally believe that we have a time window of another 4 to 5 years in which we need to catch up. As one of my friend during the course of tea break mentioned, there are other nations, those who are going to catch up otherwise. We have a responsibility for 140 crore Indian citizens, as well as being a responsible nation on this planet to take forward the growth. Growth has to be the single engine, innovation has to be the single engine going forward.
This is an event where the packaging machinery manufacturers have gathered and to talk about the future growth prospects and the kind of scenario that is they are facing, and to ruminate over the past experiences of the last 22 years and more. So this is a leadership conclave where they are trying to find out what is lying in the future and how they should be moving forward with the kind of different kind of interactions which have taken place and which are in store. I hope that people will be benefiting for their own perspectives getting more clear.
So, how do you think the packaging machinery industry is shaping up in India?
Yeah, packaging machinery industry is gathering roots, and this Institute of Machinery Manufacturers of India is playing a role in that with a membership of 250, with which needs to grow and which needs to become more formal with the help of everybody that is involved in trade promotion. So moving forward, the challenges will have to be met. The kind of deep route that they have to develop to cater to the needs of the unserviced sectors, especially in the eastern part and northeastern part of the country, that needs to be tackled because packaging is a basic need of human being, and that would require a more focused and more deep understanding and more deep outreach. Yeah.
Yeah, so talking about the machinery industry, how do you think the automation is playing part and what will...
So going forward, the 3D printing and the Internet of Things, that would be a long-term kind of movement forward where the Western world is moving. And the Indian industry will have to catch up with that and maybe innovate some more and come up with solutions which are oriented towards the Indian scenario and the kind of needs of the Indian consumers as well as the exporting community, because packaging plays a very important role in value addition for exporting community as well. So I hope that the packaging machinery manufacturers will be interested in catering to the needs which are developing both from technological point of view as well as environmental awareness, the consciousness of the consumer, which is now growing to ensure that the consumer is getting the best of the things with minimalist packaging, as I mentioned in my speech, about the minimal material, the minimal energy uses, and minimal wastage of material, packaging, as well as the products which are packaged.
Yeah, so talking about the environmental concerns, so how do taking steps like EPR and single-use plastic bans, how do these perform in the industry?
Yeah, so these are steps which the government has initiated, and these are timely steps. And the government's initiative, with the help of the citizens and the industry and all stakeholders, will lead to a circular economy in India, which will be useful for industry as well as the consumers and the citizens, and most of all the environment of the country, which is which needs to be cared for the future generations.
Yeah, also, is there anything happening in terms of supply chain logistics in the industry?
So in that only I mentioned that these user associations will have to be prepared, will have to be ready for this circular economy where the single-use plastics have been banned. So the whatever can be recycled needs to be recycled, and we have to be ready for that.
Yeah, so lastly, yeah, what is the message to the industry?
Message to the industry is be ready for tomorrow. If you have to thrive, you have to strive, right?
That makes sense. Thank you so much, sir.